After a decade of anticipation, Japan's aircraft carrier ambitions are realized as the first F-35B jets land.
Tokyo now operates the world's second-largest F-35 fleet with 147 stealth jets, surpassed only by the United States. How does this shift affect the Asia-Pacific power balance? And why is U.S. ally South Korea not keeping pace?
When Japan's F-35B fighters officially deploy aboard the Izumo, it's more than a milestone. It's a strategic pivot.
This capability reshapes power dynamics in the Western Pacific. First, consider Japan's immediate security threats.
To the west, Chinese vessels and aircraft increasingly challenge Tokyo's control over the Senkaku Islands. To the north, North Korea's missile tests, some flying over Japan, pose a direct and immediate threat. And to the south, the Taiwan Strait grows ever more tense. In this environment, a passive defense is not enough. If conflict erupts there, Japan cannot remain on the sidelines. Tokyo must project power beyond its shores.
It must secure the first island chain from Okinawa to Taiwan, a vital shield for both Tokyo and Washington.
Another key factor is the U.S.-Japan alliance. Washington has long urged Tokyo to share more of the security burden.
When U.S. Marine F-35Bs operated from the Izumo, it was more than a trial. It was a powerful strategic signal.
The Izumo can serve as a supplementary carrier for the U.S. 7th Fleet, filling a critical power gap if needed.
But the most decisive factor driving this contest is China's naval expansion, a reality Japan cannot ignore.
Beijing is pushing forward with its advanced Type 003 carrier, its largest and most capable warship yet.
Equipped with electromagnetic catapults, it can launch dozens of J-35 stealth fighters, shifting the naval balance. If Japan fails to accelerate, the balance may tip rapidly. But can two light carriers truly maintain equilibrium?
Finally, there are legal and political constraints. Japan remains bound by its pacifist constitution.
Tokyo still calls them multi-purpose destroyers to soften criticism from China and South Korea.
But in reality, these ships mark a turning point, a first step toward a long-range counterstrike capability.
The F-35B's induction is the final link, completing Japan's quest for a true carrier strike capability.
Now, the Japanese Navy holds every piece, becoming the first Asian nation to field 5th-gen fighters from the sea.
In its 2025 defense plan, the Ministry of Defense declared the Izumo fully capable of deploying F-35Bs.
The upgrades are striking. Both Izumo and Kaga underwent major deck modifications for F-35B operations. A new, non-skid, heat-resistant coating was applied, able to withstand the F-35B's intense engine exhaust.
The future of our maritime defense begins today.
This 0.6-inch layer triples the deck's heat resistance compared to its original helicopter-only design.
The ship's command and control systems are also being upgraded to manage the complex operations of both manned and unmanned aircraft.
The island structure was shifted, and the old helicopter control tower was replaced with a new radar system. Aircraft elevators were also overhauled. The old helicopter lifts were replaced with new hydraulic systems.
Each new lift is rated for 66,000 pounds, large enough to carry 2 folded-wing F-35Bs at once. Inside, the hangar was reconfigured by realigning weapon storage to expand the usable floor space. This provides enough room to host 6 F-35Bs and 4 SH-60K anti-submarine helicopters simultaneously. According to refit data, Izumo's standard displacement has increased from 21,500 to 26,500 short tons.
The flight deck remains 814 feet long, but its operational area has expanded by a significant 25%. These numbers confirm it. Japan has laid the foundation to transform its destroyers into true aircraft carriers. The second ship, Kaga, is expected to complete its final conversion by 2026, creating a two-carrier force.
At that moment, Japan will be able to deploy stealth fighter operations across 2 strategic directions at once.
At the core of this transformation is the F-35B, the only stealth fighter capable of short takeoffs and vertical landings.
Combined with the Izumo class, it will fundamentally reshape Japan's naval doctrine and its strategic posture.
Stealth is its greatest weapon. The F-35B's skin is coated in advanced radar-absorbent material. It's optimized to absorb X-band frequencies between 8 and 12 GHz, making it incredibly hard to detect.
Combined with its S-duct air intake design, the jet's frontal radar cross-section is dramatically reduced.
Its radar signature is just 1/500th that of an FA-18 Super Hornet, a truly remarkable stealth advantage. Even more striking, the aircraft delivered to Japan are the advanced Block 4 variants, a significant upgrade.
This version integrates the Norwegian-built Joint Strike Missile, a stealthy and highly effective anti-ship weapon.
This gives Japan a capability far beyond the F-35As already flown by its Air Self-Defense Force. The F-35B is engineered for the sea. Its airframe uses 35% composites to enhance corrosion resistance. Powered by the F-135 engine, working with a shaft-driven lift fan system for STOVL operations. This isn't just a boosted engine, but a complete propulsion architecture, combining vertical lift with vectored thrust.
These upgrades aren't theoretical. U.S. test launches and recoveries aboard Izumo show striking results.
With a 25-knot deck wind, an F-35B needs just 344 feet of deck to take off with a heavy payload. For vertical landings, the jet can weigh up to 50,000 pounds, allowing it to return with unused weapons.
This flexibility gives Japan, for the first time, the ability to deploy stealth strike forces anywhere along the first island chain.
Washington had already factored this new capability into its planning for the entire Indo-Pacific region.
A U.S. Navy report describes the Izumo F-35B pairing as an alliance lightning carrier, a potent force multiplier. This concept traces back to successful joint tests with the USS America, proving the platform's viability. During combined training at Naval Base San Diego, Japan drilled complex carrier task force organization and tactics.
They practiced deploying 10 to 12 F-35Bs in modular mission packages for maximum flexibility.
In its air dominance package, the Izumo can launch 12 F-35Bs armed with 48 AMRAAM missiles.
In a strike package, it can sortie 8 F-35Bs with JSM missiles, supported by 4 V-22 Ospreys.
Beyond these packages, the concept of distributed operations was proven at RIMPAC 2022.
The Izumo and USS Abraham Lincoln linked tactical data networks, allowing seamless targeting information.
This allowed F-35Bs to receive targeting data from an E-2D Hawkeye and launch missiles at standoff ranges. In one scenario, 2 Izumo-based F-35Bs guided by a Hawkeye struck a mock ship with pinpoint accuracy.
The drill underscored the seamless interoperability between a U.S. supercarrier and Japan's Lightning carrier. Even operating alone, Japan's Ministry of Defense confirms an Izumo carrier can sustain 24 F-35B sorties per day.
This means in the first 72 hours of a conflict, the strike group could launch 144 precision-guided weapons.
A U.S. Navy evaluation confirmed an Izumo with 10 F-35Bs delivers air control equal to 4 Akazuki-class destroyers.
For ground attack, its firepower surpasses the entire vertical launch system of a Kongo-class destroyer.
So how will the Izumo carrier strike group be structured? The JMSDF outlines a one.
This includes 1 Izumo, 2 Maya-class destroyers, 2 Akizu-class destroyers, and 1 Soryu-class submarine.
This formation can simultaneously counter 24 aircraft, 12 anti-ship missiles, and 8 submarines within a 500-kilometer battle space.
At its core is the Maya-class destroyer, with its advanced OPS-50 radar providing long-range surveillance. Operating in the L-band, it's believed capable of detecting stealth aircraft up to 320 kilometers away.
The Akizuki-class destroyers handle close-range air defense and critical anti-submarine warfare operations.
They establish a three-dimensional shield around the carrier, protecting it out to a range of 200 kilometers. According to carrier sortie models, a single Izumo can sustain 12 hours of continuous air patrol per day.
This involves 2 F-35Bs operating 200 kilometers from the carrier, with each sortie lasting about 2.5 hours. When the Izumo group deploys east of the Ryukyu Islands, it can establish a 432 nautical mile air control zone. Within this sphere, the F-35Bs can conduct 2 waves of ground strikes, delivering significant firepower.
This includes launching 48 JSM anti-ship missiles or as many as 120 JDAM precision-guided bombs.
But behind the headlines, the deployment of F-35Bs aboard Izumo and Kaga faces hard limits. A light carrier can grab headlines, but sustaining power in a long campaign is an entirely different challenge. Magazine space, fuel storage, and at-sea replenishment are all far more restricted than on U.S. supercarriers.
Will combat power collapse after just a few waves of strikes? Another risk is survival under fire.
Japan lies within range of Chinese and North Korean missiles. With limited defenses, these carriers are priority targets.
A concentrated missile salvo could cripple them in minutes. There is also the crucial human factor.
Getting the F-35B on deck is only half the battle. Training pilots and crew to operate seamlessly at sea is harder.
These are skills built only through years of experience, something Japan has not practiced since World War II.
How long will it take to turn paper capability into real combat power? Still, this has already reshaped the balance.
But a question lingers: if Japan can do it, why not South Korea? With proven shipbuilding and advanced warships, Seoul seemed destined for carriers of its own. But instead, its ambitious carrier program was cancelled.
The answer lies in their divergent paths. Over the past 15 years, Japan pursued steady, incremental upgrades.
Seoul, by contrast, shifted between ambitious visions and harsh realities, which ultimately stalled its progress.
In 2013, Japan approved funding for its second Izumo-class ship. At that time, South Korea's Dokdo was already in service.
But the Dokdo remained confined to its traditional amphibious role. By 2018, Tokyo revised its defense guidelines.
The goal was multi-role capability, opening the door to convert the Izumo class into F-35B carriers. That same year, Sahel launched feasibility studies for its CVX carrier, but the project quickly stalled. It was crippled by high costs and limited access to key F-35B technologies needed for the carrier's design. In 2021, Japan signed a formal contract with Lockheed Martin for the F-35B, solidifying its plans. Meanwhile, South Korea was still debating which propulsion system its theoretical CVX carrier should even use.
The national budgets tell the story. Japan's naval share of defense spending rose steadily over the decade.
South Korea's naval budget peaked, and then declined, forcing constant scaling back and revisions to its plans.
The difference runs deeper, down to the original ship designs. For Japan, modifying the Izumo was straightforward. The Izumo was built from the start with future air operations in mind, a critical design advantage.
Its deck is 161 feet longer and 23 feet wider than the Dokdo, providing ample space for F-35B operations.
The most decisive difference is hangar volume. Izumo features a massive 2-deck hangar for aircraft storage.
The usable space is nearly double that of the Dokdo, whose hangar is obstructed by landing craft equipment.
The design itself set the limits long before conversion was considered, making it nearly impossible for South Korea.
Japan finalizes new National Defense Program guideline.
In contrast, South Korea's CVX project lacked the same level of consistent political and financial backing.
Japan Naval Budget. Share.
This sustained financial commitment provided the stability needed to see the complex and expensive carrier conversion project through to completion.
In contrast, South Korea's naval budget share grew slightly to 16.7%.
The design differences between the Japanese and South Korean ships were fundamental.
The Izumo's significantly larger dimensions provided the necessary space and stability for fixed-wing aircraft.
The wider beam of the Izumo class was another critical design element, providing more deck space for maneuvering aircraft.
The massive, unobstructed hangar space of the Izumo is the single most important feature that enabled its conversion into a functional aircraft carrier.
On the Izumo. The elevators Izumo were designed from the out with the weight and size of future aircraft in mind.
The heavier lift capacity of the Izumo's elevators is essential for moving fully armed and fueled F-35Bs. In contrast, the Dokdo's elevators were designed for much lighter helicopters and vehicles, making them completely.
This critical design flaw meant that any attempt to convert the Dokdo would have required a complete structural rebuild. Faced with these design limitations, South Korea's only real path was to build a new carrier from scratch. But a news report from May 2023 confirmed the inevitable. The South Korean Navy cancelled its CVX carrier project. Instead, Seoul will develop a multi-purpose command ship focused on unmanned aerial vehicles and drones.
The cost of building a new carrier from the ground up proved to be the final, insurmountable barrier.
Building the ship alone was estimated at nearly $9 billion. A full strike crew would exceed $20 billion.
South Korea's armed forces continue to modernize across all branches.
The F-35B's ability to take off and land in a short distance makes it the perfect aircraft for these modified carriers.
The modular construction process allows for rapid and efficient assembly of these complex warships.
We're here to strengthen our alliance.